Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says yo.
Greetings, Koopalings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack podcast. My name is Rebecca. I am not Donnie, but tonight I'm joined by Garrett to discuss what's been happening in the Nintendo world this week. Unfortunately, Donnie is missing. He got called back into work. He couldn't make it tonight.
We kicked him out.
We did. We said, no more Donnie. No more playing Nintendo. He's out.
Exactly.
But no, Garrett and I wanted to make sure that the show goes on. So Garrett, before we get started, let's thank our producers who helped make this show possible.
Yes, thank you very much. Patreon producers Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh the Bonesaw Barboni, Chris McElfresh or Macklefresh. I know they say Macklefresh, but I think it's McElfresh. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so. I don't know. I gave you the names because I didn't want to
have
to say.
Whatever. Yeah, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Paul Calicote, Michael Masick, The Action, Zach Bradshaw, and Nick Fahaba. That's all the names right there. Yep.
Thank you so much to all of our Patreons.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your week been, Garrett?
It's been chill. It's been hot, actually. You know, I have no AC at all in this apartment. I had to buy a windowed air conditioning unit when I came into Pittsburgh. And I come from the South, and it's just very unusual for me not having central AC everywhere. And now that I'm working from home, it's a little inconvenient now that I just don't have AC in my main area. But other than that, I'm doing good. It's supposed to cool off this weekend.
You gotta get those big box fans.
That
helps circulate the air a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but 5:30 this afternoon, it wasn't that great.
No. Yeah. Well, I feel like it's been such, and we live, very similar to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been getting too much of a spring or autumn these past couple of years. It's been going from so cold winter,
Mm-hmm.
It was snowing a couple of weeks ago into now it's so hot and humid.
Yep.
So I definitely relate to that, and I feel so bad if you don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, that always happens. In Pittsburgh, yeah, definitely. It's like spring for 2 weeks, and then it's just groggy, humid, raining, or just super sunny, and it's like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll live with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit of a repeat from last week, where I haven't been doing a whole lot of gaming. Even over the 4-day weekend, I thought I would have a little bit more time for games. But since it's been a little bit nicer out, the weather's been getting a little bit sunnier. I've been trying to get outside and get out a little bit more, especially since I'm still not really going back to doing normal things. Mm-hmm. This area, it's still a little bit questionable. I've been trying to just go outside and do more things outside, like hikes and
cool.
Like going to parks and stuff and walking around. I've actually been I guess this is gaming related. I've been getting a little bit more back into Pokemon Go.
Nice.
Especially since I feel like I get more back into it when the weather gets nicer in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday, there was actually a community day for CDOT. So I went to a local area to try to catch some shinies. I got a couple of them.
Nice.
And it was just kind of nice to get out and it felt a little bit more normal of stuff that I would normally do,
mm-hmm.
And kind of get back into the game.
Cool. That's Shiftry, right? That's the latest evolution? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I remember that.
Not my favorite, but they're adding more community days. They're making it a little bit easier for people to play.
Cool.
Like at home and remotely. You can now raid from home, raid the gyms.
That's really cool.
Got into Pokemon Go at all.
Oh, I was obsessed. Me and my girlfriend were really obsessed with Pokemon Go. Probably, I don't know, like 7 or 8 months. Actually, I started playing Pokemon Go when it first started, when it was just the first gen and it was just barely anything. And then I started playing back in 2017 or 2018, and then I gave up. And then now I hear there's Rocket League. Not Rocket League, Rocket Power.
Team Rocket.
Team Rocket, that's it. Something with Rocket in it, I remember. And all these, I guess you have to raid against them now, and like, I don't know. I haven't been in a while.
A lot. Like, I know it was the huge craze, like everyone played it back when it first came out, but they've added a lot of stuff in the past couple of years. They're up to to Generation 5 now. You're right, you can battle Team Rocket, all of the, the Team Rocket leaders. They've added a lot of the legendaries. It's pretty fun. I'm getting back into it.
Cool.
Do
you wear masks like outside when you go to the park or whatever? Or are you like safe distance away where you don't have to do that?
Where I went to on Sunday, it was like an open enough area where I didn't feel the need to. I brought one with me in case there was a lot of people there.
Got it.
The place that I went to normally for community days have tons of people because it's a really good area to play. There weren't too many this time. I don't know if it's partially maybe because of like, the social distancing, partially because it's not really the best Pokemon either. Like, I mean, CDOT isn't one of the ones that I feel like people will go out for as much.
Not really. Cool.
But yeah. Other than that, for gaming this week, it was fun to get back into Splatoon with the Splatfest.
That was super fun.
Sadly, Team Mayo did not win, and Donnie's not here to gloat about Team Ketchup winning.
Yeah. But we won our mode. And that's all that counts. We won in our hearts and minds, and that's all that counts.
It wasn't a real Splatfest. It was a fake one that they brought back.
Yeah, they felt sorry for us and like, we'll give Team Ketchup another chance, but it's really fake.
Part of me does want, like, after playing that, I really want to get back into Splatoon, but the other hand, like I so much want there to be a Splatoon 3 on the Switch. I don't really see that happening. I think that they will like kind of save that for the next console. But I'm just so sad that it ended. I'm glad that they are, that they did that one-off Splatfest just to kind of get back, get people back into playing and thinking about it.
It really hooked me. Like, I did not play really too much of Splatoon, and playing that with you guys, like for, I guess it was 2.5, 3 hours, I was having so much fun.
Right?
I did not realize how much fun I was having, and I didn't play Splatoon until like back in 2017 or whenever it came out.
Did you do any of the Splatfests in the beginning?
I did 1 or 2 of them, but it wasn't exactly with friends at all. I was just choosing a team and just going with it. Now that I had a voice channel and like talking to you guys, like coordinating where we need to go, that was a lot more fun than just playing by yourself. I feel like I was playing by myself and it felt very repetitive. Like, it was fun, but these matches are quick. They're like, I don't know, 3 minutes, right? And,
yeah, I think so.
And it's like just done right there. And I'm like, oh, that's a game. I can't do this for like another 3 hours. That's a lot of matches and a lot of like, I don't know.
I definitely know what you mean. When you're playing by yourself, it feels like a huge grind to get to the top rank for it. But when you're playing with friends, you're right. The matches just fly by. Like you lose track of time. When we were playing over the weekend, it felt like we were playing for like 2 hours, or something, and I didn't realize that much time had gone by.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Hopefully, maybe they'll do another Splatfest. We'll see. If they're not putting out a Splatoon 3 anytime soon, then they must be doing more events with Splatoon, because that was fun, I think.
And I think because they are just recycling ideas with redoing the old Splatfest, it's not like they have to develop anything. They're just reusing all their materials. I'd rather do that than nothing. Yep.
And again, that mayo color, I don't know what. The shading was off. I don't understand.
The colors, they looked so gross. And the ketchup, it looked neon.
I don't understand. I really, it must be a programming, gaming, lighting issue.
It must be, because I think it looked different on different stages.
Yeah.
I've been too busy with work to stream any games lately, like Golf Story. I really should be playing that more off stream. I think once the school year's over, around mid-June, I'm going to start keeping a more consistent streaming schedule that'll help me make more steady progress in the games that I'm playing.
Cool.
I'm still on the Animal Crossing grind. I welcomed a new villager, Zell.
Nice.
I invited him because his name sounded like my old dog Zelda. I called her Zell sometimes.
Nice.
What kind of animal? She was. I think he's like a deer villager, but he looks like a gazelle, which I guess is his name.
Zell.
Zell.
Got it.
Gazelle. Yeah. A lot of the names have puns.
Yeah. And the fish.
And in Animal Crossing, I'm still finding new projects to do. I'm making a little tiki bar area. I'm going to be building a second house. I'm going to make a second profile and make a second house because I want more stuff to decorate.
That's exactly what my girlfriend's doing. She's using my profile and her profile, and she's going all at it with that house. Yeah. No, she's still in that Animal Crossing grind, and she's like, I'm gonna need this for at least another 6 months. I'm like, this got you hooked. Bad.
She's got to get her on Switch. I'm telling you.
I know.
And then more so, other than like actually playing games, I've been busy the past like week and two buying some gaming merchandise. So I have some stuff in the mail. A lot of it I think has been delayed, so I might not see it for some time. But I placed an order with Fangamer, some Undertale and Deltarune merchandise that I'm really excited about. I ordered a Chrono Trigger t-shirt that is going to get printed and sent.
Nice.
And then today they're actually having at GameStop, it's like a deal of the day type thing. I saw that there's like a Link's Awakening bundle with a bunch of Link's Awakening goodies. There's like some coasters and like a little action figure and a bunch of other stuff, all for $20. So
nice.
So I have a lot of awesome gaming merchandise.
Nice. I wish I had the space for it, but like
I don't have the space either. But that doesn't stop me from buying it.
Exactly. And you know, you mentioned on Twitter you got that Link to the Past drawings or the printouts in the bag.
Look, I put them up.
Gosh.
My friend Craig drew them.
They're really good. I was like,
his art is so good.
Yeah, I might have to message him.
I gotta
on
get
that.
frames for him.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What have you been up to playing this week?
Same old. I want to speak first about Minecraft Dungeons because I know it's out on Switch, even though I played it on Xbox and PC. So I really enjoy it. First off, it's good for a $20 dungeon crawling game. If you're a fan of Minecraft and you're into the dungeon crawling genre, this is like the game for you to get into. So my experience with it is I was playing a couple levels by myself. I don't know if you know much about dungeon crawling. Normally it's like an isotropic view, I guess, like a up top 3D-ish kind of version where you walk through various maps and you just basically attack various enemies and monsters with different skills. And then sometimes there's a loot-based system. Sometimes there's a class system with it, some RPG mechanics like that. But it's supposed to be light. It's supposed to be pretty chill sometimes when you want an easy difficulty. But I ramped up the difficulty quite a bit in this game. And you use a sword for a basic attack and then a bow. You can shoot some arrows, and then you can have so many skills on top of that. So many area effects or flaming. So I was being very particular how I play the first two levels. And then Sean Capri, Ryan Turford, and Donnie Reese decided to bomb into my game. So I left my game open online. So that's why.
I didn't realize it was online multiplayer.
Yes, so it is online multiplayer. It's not cross-platform, I think, yet. It will be in a later update where we can go between. It's even on PlayStation as well. So Switch, PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, which is awesome.
And you're having a good time with it. That's awesome.
I had a great time. They were much higher level than me, so the combined party level was like really over. Like they were a little too powerful for me, these monsters, and I felt like I wasn't doing much when there was like an imbalance between my level and like Sean's level or Ryan's level. And so when you have 4 players in there, it gets very chaotic too. They had so many different skills that did shock or like flaming or whatever. And I felt like I wasn't doing anything for like the first hour or 2 hours. Luckily, I got enough loot going where I thought it was kind of fun. These levels are, they can be short. With 4 players, it's definitely short because so many people are defeating these monsters. Whereas if you do single player, you have to dodge and be a lot more particular so you don't die so much. But yeah, I enjoyed my time with it. I think I'm gonna play some with Jason on PC this weekend and do a little bit more
like
co-op.
It's more fun multiplayer than single player.
Yes, I think so, but I think Donnie also had a great time single player. I think I would have a lot better time single player as well if I did a lot more levels and leveled up my gear myself. But just understand, they feel like 2 different games when you do a single player or multiplayer. I feel like multiplayer is just it's like Castle Crashers. It's just chaos everywhere, and you're just smashing the A button or the trigger button for the arrows, and so yeah.
So I have a really dumb question. What's the difference between a dungeon crawler and a roguelite? Are they the same or are they different?
They're different.
The way you were describing it almost sounded kind of like it was a roguelite type game.
Mm-hmm. So roguelite is, the mechanic is that you die, you have to completely reset to the beginning of the game. So think of Binding.
But this isn't like that. This is progressive.
No. So once you die, you can respawn in the middle of the game or whatever.
Okay.
So roguelite, like, it's not a mechanic itself in the game where it's like going through levels and defeating monsters. Roguelite can be like Slay the Spire. Actually, that's a roguelite game, but that's a deck building game, right? And so once you die, though, you reset to the beginning of the game or whatever. Same thing with Binding of Isaac. That's a top-down. I would say that's a top-down.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Twin stick shooters. That's a roguelite as well. And then Dead Cells. That's a big one. That's super fun. I really enjoyed Dead Cells a lot. But dungeon crawling is the aspect of going through various dungeons, and there's a lot of monsters everywhere, and you have to defeat all of them. That's what, kind of what Donnie loves, right? Is just to beat a whole swath of monsters right in front of him without a care in the world. So yeah, I've been enjoying that quite a bit. Next off, I've also been playing a lot of Skyrim.
I've been seeing you getting into that again.
Yeah.
You're posting a lot of cool screenshots.
Thank you. I know exactly where to go in and out in that game. I'm reminding myself when I played this back in 2012. Like summer of 2012 was in between my high school and college year, where I just did not do anything at all. I was super lazy. I did not have a job on hand, and so what I did is like, all right, I'm gonna just play Skyrim and listen to Linkin Park like the whole day.
Nice.
And just be good with it, So yeah, I've been reminiscing in that. It's very nostalgic to me. But I am taking a very different approach than how I was, right? I'm doing dual wield. I'm doing light armor, which I haven't done before. So, but I love just going through that world. And I think Bethesda, they've done a really good job of where, like, there's just so much to do. It's like Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild. There's just so much to do and so many things to collect, so many places to go. And once you go out into Skyrim, you just see so many places you can check up on. Like, once I got done with the introduction, I first went south to another town, did like a series of quests there, and now I went back north and went through another city that had another quest that has I had to defeat a master vampire. There's just so many different storylines in there. It's kind of jank now. I can understand how the dialogue is jank, talking to the guards.
That's why I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
No, with all I know what you mean though. With all of those open world games, I feel like Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, those types, every time you play, there's something new that you find. I know I could load up Breath of the Wild right now, and like if I play for a couple minutes, I'll probably run into something that I haven't seen before. And I have, like 200 some hours in the game, and it sounds like Skyrim's like that too, where you've played it so many times and you know it like the back of your hand, but you're still finding new ways to play, or you're playing with different like races or classes or whatever. And,
yeah, exactly. And I feel like a later game in Skyrim, it gets a lot more fun. I think that's the downturn for Skyrim if you play right now. If you play like the first, I would say 10-15 hours, I can understand it could be kind of boring, kind of desolate, not much to do. But like once you're hitting like 20-ish hours or 30 hours, when you get like really cool magic abilities, you get these dragon priest masks that look dope, and you get these enchantments going. And it's like
you are tempting to give this game another chance. Every time I played it for the first time on the Switch, and like I didn't finish it. Every time I load it up, I feel like I just get lost in the world of running around and killing things. Like I haven't done any of the storyline, maybe a little tiny bit, but I think I like barely scratched the surface, just because it's so pretty and I like to ride my horse around.
Nice.
And find caves and get like treasure and stuff. I really should go back and like just do the story.
Yeah, maybe. I think the main storyline of Skyrim, that's not the shining part about it. It's not the best part about Skyrim. It's really the open world, and it's the side quests that you do. I especially like the Thieves Guild that you go off to in the southeast, and you figure out how to be a master pickpocketer and sneaky guy. And I really love the Dark Brotherhood. I don't know if you ever encountered the Dark Brotherhood. But
it sounds familiar. Like I think I did a little bit with that, but I probably didn't do the whole thing.
Yeah, it basically Dark Brotherhood is you encounter them and they're like, all right, you're gonna be a contract to assassinate people, and then you go through a quest line if you want to be a Dark Brotherhood person or not. But no, I've been enjoying it. I'm just biding my time for Xenoblade. Nice. It's coming out soon, very very soon. So super excited. And last touch up on Ocarina of Time. I'm not playing as much.
No, you're giving up on it.
I'm not giving up on it. I'm like hanging like with two fingers, okay?
Did you play any more this week?
I played a little bit more. I didn't hit the fire temple just yet, but I'm at the entrance. I'm at like the mountain opening or something. I
remember you were saying you were having trouble finding how to get into it, I think.
Yeah, I finally cracked and I opened a guide. I opened it
Did you get the tunic, the red tunic that you have to wear?
Yep, I got the red tunic, and then that guy gave me a lot of like extra help with hard pieces too. And so I read through some of the hard piece puzzles, and I'm like, goodness, I could never get that. I could never understand that.
Yeah, the hard pieces are a little bit tough. Something you had said last week, it just jogged my memory here. You were saying about how you got the Goron sword, and I think we misunderstood which sword you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Me and Donnie were talking about a different sword than you were talking about. I forgot the one that you mentioned is like the Goron's knife or something.
Oh.
It's a different thing than what we were talking about. One of our listeners, Craig, the one who did my artwork here, mentioned that you bought it from the store is a different one than the one we were talking about with the side quest. So you have another sword with a long side quest that you can get.
Great. I can't wait.
It's actually a fun one.
Okay, good. I am gonna go back to a guide whenever I just feel like I'm stuck. Dungeons, I'm still trying to do blind. Like, I do not want help with dungeons. I know maybe the water temple, I heard that one's like just a pain in the butt, but I'm really going to try.
You're playing it on the 2DS though, right?
Yes.
I think they made a couple changes to it to make it, and honestly, it's not that the water temple's hard, it's just that, like, I found it to be a little bit tedious with like going into the menu and unequipping the boots, going back into the menu and equipping them, because there's a lot of like. But now with the 2DS, you could just push the button on the screen to unequip them. So
yeah, it's very easy.
I might not have even gotten the iron boots yet.
No, I don't think I have.
So yeah, you'll figure that out.
I'll get there.
Much.
But that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, then let's get into some of our Nintendo news for this week. Digital Foundry did an analysis on Xenoblade, which comes out tomorrow. They found that it runs at 720p docked, can drop to 540p, and even down to 378p in handheld. Portable mode drops some lighting, reflection, and shadow details, but mostly holds up. The game does mostly hold 30 frames per second with minor hitches at times, and they stated that the image quality, however, is much better than Xenoblade Chronicle 2's. And Garrett, you're getting this game, right?
I am getting this game still. I've watched this video this morning. I think it's still gonna be, I'm really excited to go through it. I know it's based off of the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 engine. Yeah. And so that's why I understand these resolutions. And it's really nice, actually, the frame doesn't drop, because in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it does. It does quite a bit, actually. And on handheld mode, it's actually, I feel like it's almost unplayable. It gets very choppy. It was an interesting nuance, actually. When I played, for a long time, for a long session on handheld mode, it becomes choppier and choppier because it load more cache. It load more assets in there, and then their solution was, you gotta quit the game and go back in. And so at least we don't have to do that for this game. It looks like more or less that the 30 frames is stable. That's all you need with this game, because it's the combat's pretty autonomous. You just have to press some buttons and it'll just kind of do the combat for you. But
Honestly, yeah, people get so caught up in like the 30 frames thing, but like I would rather have that to be stable than you're right, 60 frames per second stuttering.
yeah, and so the resolutions, although they seem low, 378p. Whew, have you heard of a modern game now saying that hey, it's gonna run 378p on a current gen console?
Oh, that's low.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? But yeah, no, it's still.
Honestly, it sounds bad, but like my eye with that kind of thing is so bad.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if I would notice the difference between 720 and like 540.
The
Honest, like my eye is just not that good for it.
Right. The image quality, they said it is better and is sharper, which I was like, okay, it's possible that I could play this on handheld as well with my regular Switch. But no, I'm super excited, and like it's still so much better than the ports. I mean, for the original Wii and the 3DS, of course, the 3DS port. Man, that port was just terrible. Like I couldn't figure out where my guy was. He was so pixelated. So
I didn't realize that.
yeah, it's so bad. But at least they cleared it up a lot. It looks a lot better. It may not be the best remaster that we could have gotten like with others, but it's still gonna look really good.
I looked at some reviews. It's reviewing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I mean, it's the big thing coming out right now that we know of for a while. I think this is going to carry people. Is it a long game?
Yes, it's gonna be at least like on average it's 100 hours to beat.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And you
people been a long time.
and you got extra content too. That's I'm glad that they focused more on image quality, frame rate, like just stability and extra content over like any kind of resolution jump, because that's probably the best that they can do right now with that game. And I'm just so glad that they're bringing it to the Switch. I will probably play that. Well, let's see if I work tomorrow. Let's just say that.
Are you getting it digitally or physically?
Digitally.
Digitally, got it.
Yeah. Digital life. So.
Yeah. Blair Witch is releasing on June 25th on the Nintendo Switch. I don't really know anything about that game.
Yeah, Donnie put it on there, and I'm like, cool, Blair Witch. No, it's a survival horror game. I forgot what it's based it off of, but I have seen. It's originally out on Games Pass, and it's on Xbox. So it is heading over the Switch. It is it's a survival horror game. You're trying to just figure out what is happened to the cabin or something, and then there's time travel involved. So a lot of supernatural things with it. That
actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I would look through the story and see if you
Yeah.
would be into it. But it is a jump scare game.
I don't like that. I like creepy spookiness. I don't know about the jump scare part, but
I think there's there's a lot of tension in there. I remember seeing a stream of it, and it seemed okay. It's still janky on the Xbox, so I couldn't imagine what it's gonna look like on the Switch, to be honest with you.
it came out late last year on other consoles.
Yes.
We're finally getting it now.
Yeah, so we'll see how it looks. Some of these ports, I just hope they just do a good job with it on Switch.
I know. I feel like some games it's done just to get on the Switch, just to say that it's on there and get more sales. They don't necessarily take care with porting it over. So hopefully this is
Yeah.
well done.
I wonder what the price is. Maybe it has that Switch bump.
Oh, did they not say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Donnie literally just put Blair Witch releasing June 25th. It's like, great. So there you go, guys. Survival
Here we
horror.
go. Amazon France has listed several new Switch SKUs. 3 games from Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is Switch only, 2 multi-platform. Of those 2 multi-platform, one is PS4 and Switch. The other is Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. 2 of the game listings are from Square, both Switch exclusive. 2 games from Warner Bros. 1 Switch only, 1 multi-plat. 2 games from Ubisoft, 2 multi-plat. 1 game from Take-Two, multi-plat, and 1 game from Capcom Switch only. So I don't know. Sometimes when we see these listings go up, they're legit. Like we might be getting some announcements soon. Sometimes they're not, but it's always fun to speculate what those listings could be, because chances are they they could be legit listings.
Yeah, that's a
That's
lot of games. That's a lot of games.
That's like the kind of thing that you would expect to see like right before a direct,
Mhm.
but like we know we're not getting a direct anytime soon.
Yeah, these are all third party. So
they're all third party.
yeah, they're bound to be announced probably this summer if it is real. And
So I feel like the Bethesda one, it's most likely Doom Eternal, right? Like we know that
isn't that
something
already
that-
listed?
I don't know. Is it?
I thought it was already listed. It's already been announced.
They officially announced it for Switch?
Yeah, it's been announced on Switch for a while, I thought.
Okay.
And they were just say coming out on a later date.
And there's there's already listing for it. Okay, then if it's not Doom Eternal, could it be an old Fallout game?
That would be nice. I don't know what that PS4 and Nintendo Switch exclusive would be. Why would it not be on Xbox? Because they're always Bethesda's always been in bed with Xbox actually more than PlayStation. So I'm really curious what that could be. The Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I think it could be a different game. It could be a new game.
Well, maybe a new IP.
Yeah. They don't have much announcements out in the pipeline this summer. I'm really wondering what their next game is really going to be because the Bethesda studios, they're right now probably knee deep into Starfield, which is definitely not coming on Switch. And goodbye with Elder Scrolls, the next one, because they're not talking about it. And then they have Arcane Studios. They're working on something I just forgot. And then oh gosh, there's a lot of studios in Bethesda I can't keep track of, but I think it's like Tokyo. It's like the next game of one of their studios in Japan is like Tokyo Ghost Shell, so that looks like a cool game as well. Wait, the Arcane Studios, they're making another game called like Infinite Loop or something like that. Where,
I never heard of that.
Yeah, they kind of briefly mentioned it last year in E3. They just did a trailer of it, but no gameplay. It's by Arcane Studios. I don't know if they have not released that, so maybe that could be one of them in Bethesda, but I don't know. I really don't know. The Switch only is interesting as well.
It is. Well, that makes me think that it's not something that's going to be exclusive to the Switch, but something that is already on the other consoles, but would be a port. Would make the most sense. I can't imagine. I mean, it could be possible that they would be developing something for the Switch, but like I think it's way more likely that it would be a port of something that
Dishonored Collection. I think that could be a big one actually, because Dishonored 1 came out on Xbox 360, the previous gen consoles. This engine could possibly run Dishonored 2 as well because it's the same engine. The art assets are not like super intensive either, so I could see a Dishonored collection coming to Switch.
That's a really good guess. From Square, both Switch only. Again, I feel like would probably have to be ports of something.
Yeah.
There's probably plenty of Final Fantasy ports that could happen.
I think they've done quite a bit, right? What's the latest one that they've done?
I don't know.
Well, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 12. 12 is like the most up-to-date one. I can't imagine them doing maybe 13, but people are not really big into that game. And then 15, just no, probably not. And 14's an MMO, so I doubt that's going to be on Switch. I'm thinking of ports. It could be like Dragon Quest, previous Dragon Quest games.
Dragon Quest.
I
had two other thoughts for this one.
Okay.
Are really like stretches. The one could be, isn't Octopath Traveler Square Enix?
Yeah, but the studios that's making Octopath Traveler is also making Bravely Default too. So that's Bravely Default.
So they're probably not already working on an Octopath 2.
Right.
And that seems early to announce that anyway.
Yeah. They also own a studio called Tokyo RPG Factory, which they made smaller JRPG games that are self-contained. I forgot. I Am Setsuna. They just made a recent game that's got released earlier this year. They like to chug out these JRPGs like crazy, like once a year or a year and a half. So it could be one of Tokyo RPG's projects.
My only other guess for that one is Life is Strange, because for some reason you don't want to put that on Nintendo consoles.
I feel like a lot of American-owned, or like American-based company or developers that's owned by Square. They're not coming over on Switch, like the Tomb Raiders or Life is Strange. Life is Strange would be a great one.
Life is Strange is on everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's on mobile. Like, the first game,
Oh, really?
you can get it. Yeah, you can get it on iOS.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have it on iOS. It doesn't play well, but I would like that. I would rebuy it, but I don't know. If it hasn't happened, I don't see why that would be one of them. So, for the Warner Brothers, that's an interesting one. I didn't really know any games that are developed by them. I was looking at what people were saying, and people suggested apparently there was talk of like a Harry Potter RPG.
Yep.
Which I didn't really know anything about that until I started reading like people talking about it. But that could be possibly exciting.
Yes. Did you watch the leaked video of it?
Wait, it's like actually a thing? Like it's real?
I gotta share it to you. It looks so good.
I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan, but I do like Harry Potter. That would probably be the multi-plat one because that wouldn't be exclusive to the Switch.
Yeah, that's inevitable. I think they're gonna release Harry Potter.
People would get so excited about that because there really hasn't been a really good Harry Potter game, and if it's an RPG, like there's just so much you could do with that. Like, oh my god, I'm so glad that it's real. I hope that's the announcement.
I need to show you that video because it literally looks like, think of Assassin's Creed level of graphics with magic and the whole 9 yards. It looks so like
they could let us pick our house and customize a character. Like, I don't want to play as Harry Potter. I don't want to play as
it's your own character. In the video, it's your own character. So
oh my gosh, this is like the Harry Potter game we deserve.
Exactly. When I saw this video, I'm like, that's real. They could possibly not have just made that out of like a fake video out of the blue.
Fan made it.
Yeah. It could be like a project that they didn't like prolong about, but the rumors is that Harry Potter, this game is coming out, and Warner Brothers is having a digital event as well.
What are your other guesses for what those listings could possibly be for them?
I agree with the multi-plat for Warner Brothers. It could be another Lego game as well. I don't know if they're charging the Lego games, but they do a lot of IP with them, like the Harry Potter and stuff like that. The Switch only, I'm not too sure. I'm sorry that I'm not. I didn't look into like what the speculation could be, but man, when I see all these games, and there's a lot of Switch only games too.
There are.
I wonder if they're all just ports or new ones. So.
I'm sure one of the Ubisoft ones is Just Dance 2021. This is the time that they announced that.
Yeah, and then I think the second one could be of Gods and Monsters. Because
maybe.
Because that game kind of looks like it could be on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything else, like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, that's gonna be, no, maybe a Rayman. I'm not sure, but it could be a Rayman game.
That's true.
UB Arts, they like to do smaller games as well, like Child of Light, Valiant Hearts. Maybe they had another smaller project they want to bring out as well. It's
too bad that one of the listings isn't Switch only for them, because that could have been your Mario Rabbids 2.
I know. Oh, you're right.
So that kind of scratches that one. I mean, that's not to say that that wouldn't happen anyway. Like, these listings are only speculative.
Right.
I don't know any Take-Two games though.
Take-Two.
What do they?
Crap.
Are you familiar with?
Is it Red Dead? It's them, right? It's Red Dead and GTA. That's Take-Two.
No, is it really?
Or am I thinking of 2K? Yeah, no, Take-Two is that
the same studio?
They publish Rockstar games.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, but that's Okay, so if the one game from Take-Two is multi-plat, it wouldn't be a port of. I mean, we're not getting a port of either of those games, but
yeah, Take-Two is a publisher arm that it covers 2K games, so that includes the Borderlands, Bioshock, and Xcom, those games, and then Rockstar games as well, which is GTA and Red Dead. Take-Two is everywhere.
Interesting.
So and they have some smaller developers, Ghost Story Games, which it's the original creator of Bioshock, actually left Irrational Games to make Ghost Story Games, and they've been quiet for a good amount of years, ever since they dropped off Bioshock Infinite back in 2013. Oh God, what's his name?
Makes you wonder what they're working on.
Ken Levine, yeah. So he's a brilliant guy. He does a lot of the commentary in the Bioshock Remastered game and how he developed those games and went through it. His mind is brilliant in how the way he creates games. So I'm very excited to see what Ghost Story games could possibly bring to the table, and that could be the game from Take-Two.
The one that I am particularly interested in is the one game from Capcom that is Switch only. What could that be?
You got me stumped. Another Street Fighter game?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of like what would be Switch only. They make Monster Hunter, right?
So it could be a Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
So it's weird for them because Monster Hunter World, which is their latest one that came out on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, their best-selling game in the franchise and best-selling game of the company. Like it's the best-selling game of all within Capcom. I could see them trying to port it, but I also see them trying to do another Nintendo installation of Monster Hunter. It may not be a traditional Monster Hunter game either. It could be they did Monster Hunter Stories, which is like a
Like a spin-off.
Yeah, which is a turn-based spin-off. So they could do something like that as well. Yeah, pretty much.
My mind for Capcom, as far as Switch exclusive games, immediately jumps to the Zelda games that they developed.
What?
Capcom developed Oracle of Ages and Seasons and the Minish Cap.
What?
I know that this listing is not those, but I feel like whenever the topic of 2D Zelda comes up nowadays, it's always people wanting the Oracle games remastered in the same engine as Link's Awakening. And I could see them putting those two together in one collection.
Maybe.
I know that this listing is not that, but we can dream, right?
Well, if it's just third-party games announcing their stuff.
I know. They would never let this be a Capcom announcement.
Yeah, it's not like a Mario plus Rabbids, right? Where it's like a partnership. This one, it seems like they just developed Zelda games.
And I'm like still so curious, like if they ever did remake those games, like how much would Nintendo let Capcom be involved? Like they originally developed it, but
they wouldn't do. I'd say that they're done. And it's like, no, we have the games and we're gonna remake it ourselves. Because look at Link's Awakening and look how we remade that. We can do the same exact treatment with Minish Cap and the Oracle of Seasons games as well.
So yeah, that one I'm thinking it's most likely going to be Monster Hunter, but if it is something.
I always wanted to get into Monster Hunter. I've tried so many 3DS. Yeah, the Monster Hunter on 3DS, I really want to get into it because my friends were into it, but the controls are just, I feel like it handles it in a certain way. It's so weighty. It's so like not what you want to do. And then whenever I tried to attack monsters, it didn't feel right to me. And then I tried Monster Hunter World. It's a lot better than Monster Hunter World, I would say. So if they can bring some of those quality of life adjustments to a new Monster Hunter Nintendo Switch exclusive game, I think that could be a huge hit for them.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if any of these pan out. I feel like I said, when these kind of things show up on Amazon, this was Amazon France, sometimes it's, indicative of a direct. Clearly that's not going to happen. So maybe these third parties will start announcing stuff.
Why is why is it Amazon France? Why is this?
Because maybe they messed up.
No, they always mess up. That's the thing. They're always the ones leaking stuff. I feel like there's just a random guy in a position there. That's just it's either that or a law in France.
And excitement.
Yeah.
They leak stuff by mistake to stir up excitement.
Always.
You never know. In other news, another Nintendo leak, the 3DS OS source has been leaked, as well as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. This comes from Reset Era. The entire source code of the Nintendo 3DS operating system was posted online. Everything you would want to know about how the 3DS works is in there. There's a lot of interesting development files. This leak is huge because the 3DS is still in production. The Nintendo Switch OS is also based on the 3DS OS. The Diamond Pearl source code was posted. I don't really know. Like, this is a lot of jargon to me.
Yeah. So I'll go through the last bullet point here. There's a lot of references to NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is the makers of actually the card that's in our Switches, the Tegra line. They power up the Android tablets, the Shields, NVIDIA Shields, and Nintendo Switches. And so they've had logs of NVIDIA references dating back to 2006 on the 3DS and the source code. So Nintendo was thinking of this console for a really long time. And they're actually trying to think about it for the 3DS and how much power it can actually have. I guess it was due to pricing. It was probably not feasible to put a Tegra inside a 3DS at the time in 2011. But the Tegra, it's the craziest part is they had references back in 2006, but NVIDIA did not make the Tegra until 2008. So they were talking really early. So I just thought that was interesting. This is kind of huge just because the OS itself, now you can't go off and copy it and like make a bunch of 3DS emulators. Nintendo's gonna find that and they're gonna rip you to shreds. They're gonna make it like, illegal. But what it's gonna do is that people are gonna look at this code and like they can learn off of how the 3DS works and assume what can work with the Nintendo Switch. I think emulation will be more robust, but they're not gonna. I would not say they're gonna rip like lines of code from this source code and call it that. So it's just kind of crazy to see this cracked, even though Nintendo's still in production, or the 3DS is still in production. So yeah, and then the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. You know how we found Pokemon of early stages, of early concepts?
Yes, they were finding the first 2 generations.
Exactly. And the way they did that is they cracked the code. They cracked the source code with Pokemon. And
so could we see some Diamond and Pearl secrets?
Yeah, some Diamond. So they didn't find any yet, but we'll see if they found early versions of 4th gen Pokemon.
Ada Wooper was the cutest.
Yeah, so I just wanted to put it out there.
Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about this, and I'm sure Nintendo's not too happy about it. But it's always interesting to see kind of what goes on and what's behind all of this tech.
It is what it is, and I think Nintendo can't do anything about it. They can't stop what's happening about cracking it, but what they can do is anything that services of like anything illegal, like emulation, that brings about.
I think this will lead the way to 3DS emulation. Like, yeah, it's illegal. People do illegal things.
So they won't copy the code, but they will look at the code and understand how it works. So that's a difference right there. There's a difference.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So the way it's implemented is different than exactly copying lines of code. So maybe the emulators will be different, maybe more robust as it goes on. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We got a sneak peek, an aerial view of Super Nintendo World in Japan. It looks like it's a drone shot, it's a overhead. You're looking down on it. We see a little bit of parking lot around it. And I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, is our first actual look at the actual park. Right?
Yes, I think so.
I know they've done some promos for it, but what do you think of this photo?
It looks small.
It does. Is this the whole park?
I feel like I thought that was like, wait, is that just like a part of it?
So yeah, obviously we can't show it on the podcast, but I don't know if it's just the scale of it. Like maybe it's a weird perspective, but it almost looks like it's like the size of the parking lot next to it.
Yes.
Which isn't that big.
Yeah. And I guess they still have some construction going on, so maybe.
Yeah, I know there's. It looks very cramped.
Yes.
It doesn't look like there's a lot of open space to walk around. Like I imagine a theme park. I imagine it's open and you can walk around from area to area.
You think of Epcot. You think of Disney World. You think of Disneyland. like
box or something.
yeah, very open. Like there's gonna be cafes and shops. There's gonna be rides everywhere. This feels like 3 rides combined into one.
Hold like 100 people. Like I don't know.
I feel like that's just 100 people and that's that. Now I don't know, when I go up in an airplane, I don't know how you feel about it. When I see buildings and I'm like, man, they look a lot tinier when I'm up above, like, you know.
Yeah, but this is different.
I guess so.
I don't know. I think it might be the perspective. But it is kind of cool to see. Like, it does look very colorful. It does look like I see some recognizable things like the work pipes and, little things here and there. The blocks I see at the bottom. So there are some recognizable things. It does look colorful. It does look like it's coming along.
It's compact,
so it's kind
though.
of cool. Little sneak peek of it.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's compact.
It is.
They put a lot of things into like
it's just not what I was expecting. And I mean, I'm not gonna be flying to Japan to go to Super Nintendo World anytime soon, but it's kind of cool to see what they've been doing with that.
And I saw Donnie being super excited about this, and he had like the little emote on Twitter like, "Oh my gosh, it looks so good." I'm like, guys, that just looks so small.
It's not what I was expecting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see like people in the screenshot, like take the person. You see, like in the trailer. Are you looking at the picture?
No, not right now. But you could describe it to me.
You could. There's like people standing next to the little trailers in the parking lot, and like I'm trying not to let my perspective get warped here, but if you put like the size of that person on there, it looks so little. Like I don't know. I think we can't judge until we see real.
There we go. I'm seeing it right now. Yeah,
it's hard to judge.
That looks like, I don't know.
I was expecting grand. Like I wasn't expecting Disney World type grand, but like I want to see like a different perspective. I think
that looks like an area of like a baseball field, right? Not the stadium, but like the field itself.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, it does.
So, okay, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. And then releasing on Friday, tomorrow, or maybe today if you're listening on Friday, are a suite of 2K games. We are getting the Borderlands collection, Xcom 2, and the Bioshock collection, which I didn't realize. I don't know how I missed that they're all releasing on the same day.
That's my understanding of it, or they're going to be really close to each other. They've been advertising this for a while, where it's like, these are the 3 games that are going to come out on the Switch, and they're going to be ports and they're going to be collections. So yeah, be excited. Again, if you have an Xbox, PS4, or PC, I say these games, play them on there. They're cheap. I just saw that Borderlands Handsome Collection's free on PC right now on Epic. Like, I would rather play it over there. Now, if you're dying to play on handheld, if you only have a Switch, and you have not played Bioshock or Borderlands, I say, yeah, maybe go for it. For me, I've played these games quite a bit, not except for XCOM 2.